Welcome to the Writer's Life, the place where you get the sight, sound, smells, taste of my particular writer's life, and where you get the truth about the writer's life. Hit the like button, subscribe if you can, and hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss out on one exciting video. So I've been reading lately about the stages writers go through, as determined by my buddy Dean Wesley Smith. He's not really my buddy, but but I like what he does. I like what he stands for. And he's very gracious with his time. We've emailed a couple times and stuff like that. Anyway, I'm reading one of his books on the stages a writer goes through, or whatever, a professional writer. And the first one is what you might assume in the first stage is where you're initially learning and trying to get that 10,000 hours or so under your belt, and you're just polishing the crap out of like every single story, and you're taking away the luster, and you're just not trusting yourself, and you're listening to people workshop your stuff, and they don't know what they're doing, and you have beta readers, and it's just a disaster. But it's, for the most part, it's something every writer has to go through. And you're not selling anything. You're not going to sell any of those stories. Those stories suck. And then the second level is something like, okay, you're starting to trust yourself a little bit, and you're a little bit suspicious of these beta readers and the workshop that you're attending at writer school. And believe me, I went through all that, and oh my God, it was just like hell on earth, some of that stuff. But anyway, that's what you were paying tens of thousands of dollars for, right? To basically be pounded into the ground over your words. So anyway, but you're starting to sell stories. The occasional one here and there, and that's enough to like really motivate you to continue to write or whatever. And then you hit the third stage where you don't need beta readers or workshops anymore. You're putting out work consistently, and you're publishing consistently, and you might even be making a living at this point. The time period between stage 1 and stage 3 can be 10 years, it can be 5 years, it can be 25 years. In my case, it was took about, when did I start writing? It took about 10 years. Even though everybody thought it was a boy wonder, because less than a year out of writing school, I scored a big contract, and haven't stopped since. Have I broken out the way like Harlan Coben's broken out? No. But have I disappeared like 99% of all the other people who I went to writing school with, or who had contracts around the time I got my first contracts? No. So I'm just steadily, moving up the food chain and making a living and all that sort of stuff. Doing what I want, which is awesome. But the problem with stage 3 is this. You can become complacent in this stage. And when I was reading this, I was like, ooh, this could actually be describing me. Mr. Smith describes it as, you're a professional now, and so therefore your mind intuitively tells you, well, you don't really need to learn much anymore. You've won a few awards, you've hit the bestseller list maybe a couple of times, you've hit all the Amazon bestseller lists, you hit those like once a week. Anybody can do that. So you feel kind of, like, oh, okay, like I'm here, but you're not. There's a whole another stage or two to go, and that takes more writing, it takes more time in the chair, and it takes experimenting. Lately, it might even take a little bit of a genre shift. I'm still writing my hard-boiled fiction, but I've been getting into like some speculative fiction now, and even some sci-fi. I'm not writing fantasy, and I probably never will, just because I'm not like a fantasy guy. I just don't like it. So if you don't like a genre, don't enter into it just because you think you're going to make money. But anyway, so I really took that to heart, and I'm like, okay, I got to like start broadening a little bit, and I need to hit level 4 where I'm not only making a living, but I'm making like a great living, and gaining new fans. So that's, I would say, if I had to choose where I was on this journey, I'm between 3 and 4. And had I not read Mr. Smith's book, I never would have realized like that's where I was. So if I want to get to like Harlan Coben status, I have more learning to do, and I have more practice to do, and I have to broaden my horizons a little bit more. Does that make sense? So I'm writing a story now. It's almost done. I got like 8,500 words, almost 9,000. I started it a few days ago, and it's a little bit different from what I've been doing normally. I mean, it still falls within the thriller category, but it's dystopian, and probably inspired by recent events, current events, and it's going to be, and it was also inspired by the Twilight Zone, and it'll be in my new book, Stories from the Zone, which will be coming your way sooner than you think. Anyway, that's where I'm at today, and I hope you're having a good day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Ciao, ciao for now.